Afternoon baseball from Dyken Park in downtown Houston, Texas, as the Astros play the middle game of a three-game series against the Baltimore Orioles. Orioles now a half game better than the Astros in the overall record at 47-51 to the Astros 47-52. Hi everyone and welcome to game number 100 in the books after today. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. And Blummer, when you lose 4 out of 5 like the Astros have with some tough losses lately, it kind of hurts the later in the season you go. They would love to get back in that win column today.
Yeah, they would love to get back in that win column. What else is frustrating about that loss last night is that the other teams in the American League West ahead of them lost. You would have loved to have picked up a game on that, but you've got to start winning.
In the month of July, the Astros have had Yordan Alvarez get on base at a crazy clip. The problem is not a lot of runs being scored whenever he doesn't hit a home run.
Yeah, these are some amazing numbers. We talk about how great Yordan is. Obviously, the batting average of 372 is very good. Getting on base at a 45% clip is extremely good. But how about the fact when he is getting on base those 23 times, he's only scored 6 runs. And if you go in there and subtract the 5 home runs where he's actually driven himself in, you only have 1 left. So he's only been driven in 1 other time when he's been on base those 23 times. You start to need to get those guys on the periphery to start driving more runs in. Yordan's going to be out there. I would expect more walks, more intentional walks to Yordan. So you need those guys in the 4 position down to go ahead and start driving some more runs in, or those guys at the bottom of the order getting on base so he can drive them in. He's been a beast all year, but he needs to score more.
Yordan will face the lefty Trevor Rogers today. He'll go against Spencer Arrighetti, who in the month of May was as good as anybody in baseball.
Yeah, bring back May. We need Spencer Arrighetti to go out there and kind of get himself in position to go out there and give the Astros some wins. You can see AL Pitcher of the Month. He was 4-1 with a 0.93 ERA. In order to go out there and do that, you've got to be able to use your defense. You also have to have a little bit of luck involved. Spencer had a lot of that going in May. Now's the time at the post-All-Star break to go out there and change his luck.
When you look at the splits, April, May, outstanding. June, July, not so much.
Now, the opponent batting average jumping 120 points is a remarkable number. 35 innings in that 8.74. Spencer needs to go out there and attack inside the zone. The better that Spencer is inside the zone, the better chance he has of getting some chase on that curveball outside the zone. The curveball in the middle of the plate has been getting hit recently.
During the course of today's broadcast, we're going to talk about the Energizer, the top of the lineup, that guy, Jeremy Pena, also Yordan Alvarez, and how about Peter Lambert continuing to roll in the month of July. All those stories coming up during the show. Next, it'll be Lauren Calendar in a live interview with Joe Espada. Celebration begins.
We welcome you back into Astros baseball on SCHN. Game 2 between the Astros and Orioles coming your way from Dyken Park. Lauren Calendar here with you, joined now by Astros manager Joe Espada. Joe, as your team looks to even the series here this afternoon, what's the identity you want your players to lean on here this afternoon?
Yeah, right away, Spencer Arrighetti setting the tone from the very first pitch of the game. He's got to control the strike zone, make quality pitches from the very first pitch, and our offense gets going. Once we take the lead, we're able to maintain that lead.
Speaking of Spencer Arrighetti, this lineup over here is full of some dangerous left-handed hitters. What's the key for him against this heavy lefty Baltimore lineup?
Yeah, well, one thing about that lineup, not only that he's lefty, but they do control the strike zone. They do walk a lot, so they're going to force you to throw a lot of strikes, and he needs to go and do that from the very first pitch of the game. If he's able to do that, land his breaking ball and his fastball, he'd be really tough to beat.
You've got Lucas Spence back in the lineup tonight. What did you see from him that you liked out of his debut here last night?
It starts with his poise. I think he really took his major league debut very well. I like the quality of the at-bats. He brings some energy. I expect him to do the same thing today.
All right, Joe, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we've got lineups, and Spencer Arrighetti has your first pitch coming your way after the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Chevy drives Texas. Together, let's drive.
Houston Astros baseball on SCHN is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Fun can't lose. By Amazon. Spend less on your kids for back to school. And by Jack's new Philly-style bonus Jack combo. Shaved steak, grilled onions and peppers, and melty cheese, starting at $4.99. It is Christmas in July here at Dyken Park. A lot of holiday festivities and songs before the game as we get ready for baseball on a Saturday.
And here's how the Baltimore Orioles are going to line it up, mixing it up at the top of the order, adding Adley Rutschman to that top of the order. But Taylor Ward, veteran against the Astros, playing a lot of time with the Angels. Now with Baltimore, had a big home run, game-winning home run in yesterday's game. But against the Astros this season, has an 11-18 OPS.
Adley Rutschman checking with Brian O'Nora, and O'Nora says it is 3:10. We're ready to play baseball. Spencer has been ready for the last 20 seconds. He is on time and ready to go on this Saturday day game, and we're underway with a strike on the outside corner to Adley Rutschman. Strike throwing has been at times problematic for Arrighetti, especially first pitch strikes. 52.7% on the year. That's the lowest of any qualified pitcher in baseball, with as many innings as Spencer, as he delivers outside for a ball 1-1. And Spencer's stuff, Blummer, plays so well that when he gets ahead of the count, he becomes a different pitcher.
Yeah, he's talked about it, hunting strikeouts, and in order to do that, you have to establish and take control of the at-bat. In those first two pitches, you'd like to be in the zone. Falling behind doesn't allow him to get to that breaking ball, or it forces him to throw a get-me-over breaking ball that seems to be a little more hittable than the put-away pitch he wants that curveball to be.
He loves dropping that breaking ball on the outside corner to a lefty, thinking it's going to be off the plate and then spinning it on the outside edge. That one had a little more of the plate than the last one, and now it's 2-2. Rutschman will not walk a lot, but will also not strike out very much. No strikeouts in his last 34 plate appearances. But as Blummer said, they moved him up to the 1 spot today. Just the second time he has hit leadoff this year for the Orioles. If
he gets on base, he's a rolling roadblock.
Hit there in the leadoff spot a bunch in 2023. As Spencer misses down and in, it's 3-2. Well, the walks got Spencer last start, in addition to 7 hits, with 2 of those being home runs, but 8 runs allowed on 7 hits and 6 walks, a career-high number against the Washington Nationals. Now he strikes out Rutschman to start this one. Adley going down on strikes for the first out of the game.
Well, first time in 34 at-bats, like TK said, a beautiful fastball painted on that outside corner. What's great about seeing that pitch on the UTMD Anderson strike zone is that he stayed on that outside edge, but instead of being the curveball, which Rutschman might have been looking for, rushed the fastball by him.
Lauren Callender mentioned in her chat with Joe Espada, a lot of lefties in the lineup. Gunnar Henderson, one of 6 either lefties or switch hitters batting lefty against Spencer. Only Taylor Ward, Pete Alonso, and Christian Encarnacion Strand in his Baltimore Orioles debut, right-hand hitters. Oh, they challenged that first pitch. I didn't even realize Yainer was making a quick challenge there. ABS powered by T-Mobile, and he gets it overturned.
It was a quick challenge. As soon as the call was made, he immediately tapped his helmet.
Yainer now 26 of 48 on challenges for the year, as he's above 50% behind the plate on challenges. Astros have been better as a challenging team hitting at the plate than they have been behind the plate on the defensive side of the ball, but Yainer wins that one. That one's down 2-1. So 2 first pitch strikes with that overturn for Spencer. That's something we'll track today. And he gets a swinging strike at the top of the zone, 2-2.
Velocity looks pretty good so far early in this game for Spencer. Got some chase up above the UTMD Anderson strike zone with 95.
The crazy part of this season for Spencer is he went from being better than anybody else in the league to really battling in the last 5 starts. The Astros won 9 of his first 10 starts, and he won most of those himself. And now they haven't won any of his last 5. That is nice to see. What a start to this game for Arrighetti. Back-to-back Ks. That one looking as Henderson down on strikes. How about the Astros starting defense? It is presented by Xfinity. Yainer Diaz catching Spencer Arrighetti today. Isaac Paredes, Jeremy Pena, Jose Altuve, and Christian Walker on the infield. And you've got Zach DeZenzo going against the lefty Trevor Rogers today. And Lucas Spence getting a start against the lefty with Cam Smith in right. Spencer off to a great start with a couple of strikeouts, now getting ahead with his 3rd consecutive first pitch strike. on Taylor Ward. It's 0-1. Joe Espada mentioned it a moment ago. Getting ahead, getting into leverage counts, so key for any pitcher, but especially for Arrighetti with that walk total very high his last 2 starts. But he's filling it up here early. 0-2 on Ward. Gave up 8 runs in 2 of his last 3 starts, a career high number. But in between, he pitched very well against Tampa Bay, and he starts out today by striking out the side.
He finally got to use a curveball, struck out the side. Good curveball to get that swing and miss to Taylor Ward.
Houston.
Here's the Astros starting lineup presented by Whataburger. Got some regulars in there. We also have Yainer Diaz back in there. How about his last 6 games? He is 7 for 20. That's good for a 1281 OPS. A lot of the reason for that is he's hit 3 home runs and 6 RBIs in those last 6 games for the Astros.
Just facing a lefty starter today, Trevor Rogers, as he delivers a first pitch strike to Jeremy Pena. Rogers starting for the Astros for the 3rd time in his career. You look at his numbers this year, making his 18th start. He's been incredibly tough on left-hand hitters. As Jeremy Pena delivers a base hit into center field, Pena, who was on base all night last night with 4 times on base, scoring a couple of runs, leads off today with a single to center.
Yeah, we kind of saw it a little bit in yesterday's game. He was taking some very good swings. Had a couple of hits, couple of walks, but today doing a good job getting on top of that 4-seam fastball up top and hitting it the other way. That's very similar to what he was working on in batting practice. He was thinking about driving the ball up the middle the other way. And another great start for the Astros.
Well, here's Yordan Alvarez coming in with 4 consecutive multi-hit games. Yordan will be challenged to keep that streak alive today, as Rogers has allowed just a 172 average to left-hand hitters this year. And against Yordan in his career, Yordan is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts against this lefty. As he delivers a strike here, it's 1-1. Last 4 starts, lefty's just 2 for 26. That is 0.77. But this is not your typical lefty. Hughes one towards the middle of the diamond. Stepping on the bag is Henderson, and they will turn 2. So just like that, the leadoff base runner erased as Yordan Alvarez squibs into a double play.
We'll expand a little bit.
So the base is cleared, and Isaac Paredes will bat. Isaac has never faced the lefty Rogers before. Trevor came over last year to the Orioles and had an incredible season.
Catcher's challenge.
It's going to be a catcher challenge by Samuel Basayo. We had a challenge by Yainer Diaz in the top of the first. ABS powered by T-Mobile shows that this one is well in the zone. Brian O'Nora, who has been in the bottom 5% or bottom 5 according to umpscorecards.com, and accuracy on the season, has missed a couple here in the first inning. That last one was all over the plate. And Isaac says, I don't care if it's 0-1. Just deliver a single in the left. So both righties with singles here against Trevor Rogers.
Good swing by Isaac, and our aerial coverage today is brought to you by our partners at Defy. That's our wire cam as Altuve moseys to the plate after that rip to left field from Isaac. 106.8 off the bat for Isaac. Oof. Good swing.
That was a good swing. A little change for the Astros in that 4 or 5 spot flipping. Jose Altuve now hitting cleanup as he looks at a first pitch sweeper for a strike. That has been the domain for Christian Walker, but Walker has been battling it here in the last 4 games. So Altuve moves up to the 4th spot. Jose's hit there before this season, but most recently he's been pretty much in that 5 spot. Taking a couple of strikes here, and it's 0-2. Jose 1 for 6 in his career against Rogers. 3 strikeouts in those 6 at-bats. Punches this one into right center field. That'll be down for a hit. Paredes will go first to third. Jose Altuve on an 0-2 pitch picks up the Astros' 3rd hit of the inning.
You'd love it when Altuve does what he just did, just a casual flip the other way. Saw 2 sweepers well within the zone, gets a sweeper down out of the zone and gets the base hit on it. It's basically Altuve in a nutshell right there.
Now that's the bat-to-ball skills that are elite.
Bat-to-ball skills, bad pitch, good hitting. He's incredible.
Now Christian Walker has runners on the corners with 2 outs. And he takes a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Walker 1 for 8 lifetime against Rogers. That 1 hit is a home run. He's taken a couple of strikes. And it's 0-2. Last year when Walker faced Rogers, he got a lot of fastballs. And he's seen 2 so far today. Got another one that he fouls off the other way and stays in the count here at 0-2. So far, nothing but fastballs from Rogers to Christian, and it's a 1-2 count. Walker had some opportunities last night. Had a tough night, was hit by a pitch to get on base, but went 0 for 4 in the first game against the Orioles. And down on strikes here, saw his first pitch other than a fastball was a changeup down, and that'll end the inning. 3 hits, no runs. We're scoreless after 1.
The Best in Texas Power Pitcher is presented by Ford, and we're talking Peter Lambert because he had another exceptional performance here last night in Game 1, reaching a career-high 10 strikeouts on the night. But he's made 3 starts in the month of July, and they've all been exactly what this team has needed. Across those 17 2/3 innings in that 3-game span, Lambo's posted a 1.02 ERA, allowing just 2 runs, and you see that strikeout percentage is pretty high there as well. Peter's credited Christian Vasquez in executing their game plan to the success of his last 2 starts, but Joe Espada's been especially impressed, calling Peter a competitive fighter that grinds through games, finds ways to get people out, and makes big pitches in big moments. And as we've said plenty of times, TK, he's been such a constant stabilizing piece to this rotation.
Yeah, what a year it's been, Lauren, for Peter Lambert, and that is what makes last night's loss even tougher. You hate to lose games when you have the lead in the 8th inning, obviously. That's what the Astros have done the last 2 losses, the one going into the All-Star break and the one coming out of the All-Star break. But Lambert continues to pitch so well that you want to win those games when he gives you the kind of outing he did last night.
Yeah, you've got to be able to take advantage of those good pitching outings. It's tough. You know, we talked about the opportunities the Astros had to put some tack on runs in there and create a little bit of a buffer for the back end of that bullpen. But at the same time, the back end of the bullpen's been great when they've had those leads. The record after 6, 7, and 8 innings is remarkable.
That's why it's so odd to see those 8th inning leads disappear the last couple of games. Pete Alonso down in the count, just reaches out and pokes one into shallow center. Coming on, Lucas Spence in his 2nd major league game. Makes the catch for out number 1. Arrighetti continues to work into good pitchers counts, and he's got 1 out here in the 2nd.
Yeah, get the llama. The pitcher of the month victory. Some good guys in there. Dylan Cease having a great time. Troy Melton, we saw him, and Jake Bennett has been going bonkers for the Boston Red Sox, but our own version of the Lambo is doing a very good job.
And for a couple of months there, the Lamborghini was running smoothly.
That's
but
true.
Kind of one side of the Lamborghini has been off a little bit lately.
Yep.
And now so far today, Spencer has maybe dialed it back in so we can start using that term again.
That would be fun.
Just a little tune up.
Yeah, got to go in the shop every once in a while.
Every once in a while. For Spencer, he feels like he's been in the shop longer than he's wanted to with those last 5 starts not going his way. And in that span where the Astros haven't won a game in his last 5, he did pitch very well against Tampa Bay. 6 innings of 2-hit, 1-run baseball. And that was a game where the Astros didn't score many runs for him, and they would eventually lose 3-1. But the other 4 starts have been starts that Spencer would like to have back of those last 5. Worked to a 9.72 ERA during that stretch, but today early on he has been throwing strikes up until this at bat where he's fallen behind Basayo 3-0. Samuel Basayo catching after DHing last night. Takes a pitch up, and that'll be a 4-pitch walk after 4 straight outs. First walk allowed by Spencer. Now a word from Woodlands Church.
At Woodlands Church, there's a place for everyone. We don't have all the answers, but we're looking to the one who does.
Basayo starts a string of 3 straight lefties for Spencer. He has walked 16% of his left-hand hitters faced this year. That is another total he would like to change as he gets a swinging strike on Dylan Beavers. It's 0-1. Beaver started last night, got 3 at-bats before he was pinch hit for it. Went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts against Lambert. New career high for Peter, set the mark in his rookie season in Colorado back in 2019 with 9 strikeouts, and had gone all the way till this year without ever having a 10 strikeout game, and then struck out 10 Orioles last night. Spencer already has 3, and he's ahead of Beavers 0-2. This one in play into left center. DeZenzo will make the call on the catch for out number 2.
Well, we heard Joe Espada before the game talking to Lauren about how selective this Baltimore Orioles team can be, and I think that's where you've got to kind of take advantage of getting strikes early and controlling the at-bats so that you can get to that swing and miss, because they proved it last night against Lambert that they will go out there and strike out. But if you're able to not waste pitches, be a little more economical, and put them behind in the count early, then you can go to the swing and miss.
Colton Cowser, the batter. Cowser misses the sweeper with a big swing. It's 0-1.
But that also might be something that the Baltimore Orioles try and do differently, is swing earlier in the count.
Astros ended up with 13 strikeouts last night. Spencer getting ahead 0-2 after walking Basayo on 4 pitches. Got 0-2 on Beavers, now 0-2 on Cowser. Cowser has struck out 4 of the 6 at-bats he has faced Spencer. Sweeper and curveball, primarily the curveball, getting him all 4 times. That is close to a called third. Spencer started walking off the mound. Instead, it's a 1-2 count.
Yeah, but that's the one you're talking about right there, TK. That's that back door, and it actually did grab a piece of it.
Got him with that curveball again. Cowser having trouble with that pitch, as Spencer has 4 strikeouts through 2 innings. Yainer Diaz, Cam Smith, and Zach DeZenzo bat in the bottom half of the inning.
And Miller.
Player to watch is presented by Jack in the Box. Talking about Yainer in that lineup, and well, in his last 6 games. How about his post All-Star break the last 3 seasons?
Nice play by Encarnacio Strand on a short hop second bounce, as Yainer goes after the first pitch and bounces out to start the second. We've seen Yainer again lately hitting the ball well post All-Star break. Well, today is the first game, but in the last month or so.
Yeah, you'll have to take our word for it. He didn't give us a chance to talk about it enough. Didn't get the memo.
We did. Yainer likes to swing the bat.
He does, especially when he's swinging it well. He wants to get after it.
Sometimes doesn't help our graphics, but he gets after it. Here's Cam Smith. Cam's been battling it lately too, similar to Christian Walker, not with the strikeout totals, but with the overall numbers. Last 6 games, 1 for 19 for Cam. Starts the day at 215. Orioles have pitched Cam tough in his career. He takes one off the plate here and gets into a hitter's count of 2-0. Rogers giving up 3 singles in the first inning, but did not give up a run thanks to a double play ground ball. Cam misses the fastball 2-1. Rogers in that first inning gave up singles to Pena and Paredes, and then Jose Altuve on an 0-2 pitch. Now he's 2-2 on Cam. Tried to check his swing on a pitch down. He went too far, says Chris Siegel. So Cam will be a strikeout victim. Out number 2, strikeout number 2. Time to take a look at today's Chevy Stroh Poll. If you are the GM of the Houston Astros, what would your top acquisition priority be at the deadline? A or B? A is a lefty outfield bat. B is a starting pitcher. Go to @SpaceCityHN. Use the hashtag StrowPoll. Have results later on. Well, Zach DeCenzo getting a start today. He takes a fastball for a strike. Zach went 3 for 8 on that recent road trip to DC and to Arlington. A couple of walks in the mix as well. This is the fastball and it's down to the count 0-2. Two pitches skied high in the air. Foul territory, first base side. Alonso drifting back towards the line. Makes the catch for the final out of the inning. 1-2-3 inning for Rogers. We're scoreless after 2.
Here tonight, his family was hanging on to every single pitch thrown to Lucas here in this one. I had a chance to sit down with his dad and his sister during the game last night. His sister told me Lucas has always been a quiet, hard worker who puts the team first, while his dad said Lucas has always said, I just want a chance. Give me an opportunity, and I'm going to make the most of it. And guys, as an undrafted free agent, he's done just that. It was such a fun and special moment for the entire Spence family here last night, TK.
Yeah, it really was cool, and he did not look like he was intimidated here at the big league level. The 23-year-old hung in there, drew a walk his first plate appearance, ended up getting a hit against a left-handed pitcher. First big league hit. And here he is starting against a lefty who is very tough on major league lefties in Trevor Rogers. So a vote of confidence for his manager in just his second big league game.
Well, it's pretty impressive. So was the story of Lucas Spence. Really going to a major D1 school, not drafted, and able to make it here to the big league level. It's amazing how quickly he got here. Starting his minor league journey in 2024 and 2026, he's in the show.
Yeah, for an undrafted free agent, continuing to move up the ladder.
Yeah, so I mean, that gives you a little insight to maybe some of the talent that's overlooked, but also the mentality of a guy. He could just say, hey, I'm undrafted, got nothing to lose, go out there and play hard. But it really seems like mentally he's fought to get here, and that might be why he was a little more under control in that game yesterday.
The Astros, in their current roster construction, have to start at least one left-hand hitting outfielder, with Bryce Matthews going on the injured list and Lucas Spence being called up to take his spot. Their choices today in center field were primarily Taylor Trammell or Lucas Spence. We did see Cam Smith play briefly late in that game right before the All-Star break in center, but I think they prefer to keep Cam in right. Otway Jr., mostly a corner outfielder, another left-hand hitter.
No, but I think that's an excellent point. Joe deciding to go with Spence. Maybe a little bit of last night getting that base hit off the left-handed pitcher helped him out to put him in the lineup today, give him another chance.
We haven't had a chance to see him show off the arm yet, but you heard Dana Brown talk about how high the velocity is when he does throw from the outfield. I think we saw him throw out somebody in spring training in one of our telecasts, but looking forward to watching him get tested here at the big league level to see what that arm looks like. 3-2 the count to Christian Encarnacion Strand, his first career at bat as a Baltimore Oriole. 3 years with the Reds, and now he sends one in his first at bat as an Oriole into center field, and there is Lucas Spence making his second play of the day, and there's one away in the inning.
Are you as disappointed as I am that Encarnacion Strand does not have his entire name on the back of his jersey?
I didn't even look at that.
Just Encarnacion.
Is it really?
Yeah, I expected more.
Does it not?
I bet you it would almost make a full circle around the number.
The full name is the longest in MLB history.
Oh, history.
History.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
There's
Good
never
for
been
him.
a major leaguer
with
a longer name.
Put the letters on the back. Let's go.
Christian Encarnacion Strand, 27 letters. You're right.
Gotta help me out. Maybe put the Strand underneath the 32. That'd be great.
Jackson Holliday, the batter. And he's got a 1-1 count. So far, Spencer's only allowed one base runner. That was a 4-pitch walk to Samuel Basayo. Off the plate, 2-1. Spencer striking out 4 in the first 2 innings, including striking out the side to start the game. Just off the plate, 3-1. Spencer has pitched well in 2 career starts against the Orioles, 11 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs, and a whip below 1, 0.86 in those 2 starts. Owen Sky foul, giving it a look to Zenzo, but it'll be in the crowd. Full count on Holliday, who has drawn a lot of walks lately. 9 walks his last 11 games. One of those guys Joe Espada referencing when they say they're patient hitters as he draws another walk. Spencer walks his second in this outing. Now, word from Dairy Queen.
Treat yourself to a summertime reward at DQ with our limited time drumstick blizzard of the month.
So back to the top of the order we go for Adley Rutschman. Orioles all-star catcher struck out swinging his first time up. Fastball missing up and away, 1-0. Astros coming out of the All-Star break, going with Peter Lambert last night, Spencer Arrighetti today, and Hunter Brown in the series finale tomorrow. That is a no swing, and it's 2-0. Those 3 pitchers have been, even though Spencer has not quite fit the bill lately, but they have been the 3 pitchers that you would count on for your most innings pitched per start. After a 1-out walk to Holliday, Spencer now has fallen behind Rutschman 3-0, and that'll draw a visit from Yainer Diaz.
Yeah, I don't think Spencer, he understands why this conversation is being made, but at the same time, Spencer's got to do a better job of getting inside the zone, and that's what he did that first time through the order, was really attack the zone early The velocity looks good today, 93 to 95 with that fastball. The shape of that breaking stuff that he's had, both the sweeper and the curveball, have looked good. There's a couple have actually gotten back and gotten the edges, just hasn't gotten the call from home plate umpire Brian O'Nora. I would imagine Yiner went out there and said, the stuff looks good, man. Let's get back in the zone and attack these guys.
Fastball makes it 3-1. Orioles coming into today having won 5 games in a row. They had not won more than 4. They had not won as many as 4 games in a row prior to their run right before the All-Star break. Now they've won 5 in a row. They're also 8-3 in July, which is tied for the second best record in the majors. Boston Red Sox have the best record in the month of July. The Red Sox, in the midst of winning 11 in a row, are in a rain delay today at Fenway.
I read reports that Northeast is going to get crushed by rain. It's interesting if they play any. It's unfortunate.
A lot of baseball could be impacted today with the Yankees being home. The Red Sox are home. Phillies are at home, but they're playing their game. Cleveland had a game postponed yesterday due to air quality issues.
Is that the Canadian Fire thing?
It is.
Wow.
3-2, runner goes, and the pitch is wide. Back-to-back walks allowed. And that's 3 now in the game. Orioles still without a hit, but that's their second base runner of the inning and third base runner of the game. Spencer's last 2 starts on the road, he matched his career high in Detroit on June 26th with 5 walks, and then he set his career high in his last start with 6 walks. His walk total has been much better at home than on the road, but he has walked 3 here in this one. Well, pop up. Who wants it? Jeremy Pena and Isaac Paredes, and it's going to be Paredes who makes the catch. The infield fly rule was in play. Paredes made the catch for out number 2. Now Taylor Ward will bat. Ward had the big swing in last night's game. 8th inning home run against Brian King turned a 2-1 deficit into a 3-2 Orioles lead, and that'll be the final score. Ward had a lot of big home run seasons with the Angels. Last night was his 7th home run in 97 games this year with the Orioles. This is a guy, especially you have to be aggressive in the zone. He will take pitches more than anybody else on this team, as he's now 3-0 ahead of the count. Ward with 76 walks, tied for the second most in all of baseball behind James Wood of the Nationals. Rio swinging and a pop-up into right field. Cam Smith towards the line, puts it away for the final out of the inning. Christmas in July at Daikin Park, and we come back, we will talk with Jason Wooden about some upcoming promotions here at Daikin. On Christmas and July Day here at Daikin Park, Orioles and Astros. Hey, it's Alan Bersanta.
Wait a minute, what?
Alan Bersanta.
Oh, and like that, he's gone.
Just like that, Santa got sent to Sugarland.
Talk about a missed opportunity.
Lucas Spence is going to play in his first ever Christmas in July game at the big league level because it's his second major league game ever. Guess he joined us in the booth here in between innings. We have the Vice President of Marketing, Jason Wooden, We look very similar, Jay Wu.
This is great, guys. Thank you guys for.
Yeah.
It's like we coordinated this.
I feel like a triplet.
You know something about
This would be a crazy family. I would tell you that right now.
I know who would win the brawls. I'd have both you guys.
Oh, headlocks? Yeah. Why do I feel like this is Step Brothers?
Right?
Yeah, so crazy.
We found an extra.
We did. Absolutely.
All right. So today's Light Up the Park. Today's Christmas in July. We also can tie that into Light Up the Park, which is happening again. Normal Christmas time here at Daikin Park. That was a big hit last year.
It was a massive hit for us. Obviously, holiday time for him. It is a little bit far away, but never too early to start making your holiday plans. And with it being Christmas in July, even though it's 100 degrees outside, we want to make sure that fans kind of feel a little bit of that holiday cheer. We made the announcement. We are bringing it back, and tickets are officially on sale right now. So you can go to Astros.com/Light Up the Park. And for 2 weeks, we will be running a buy one, get one ticket offer. So, like I said, never too early to go in and start getting your holiday plans.
But wait, there's more. Not just Light Up the Park. If we still had Towles Hill, this would probably work a little bit better, but you guys are going to manufacture a hill for sledding.
That's right. So, always wanting to kind of bring new attractions to Light Up the Park. And with upcoming in this fall, we do have a new attraction. It will be in center field. And if you ever wanted to feel like what it was to slide down a hill in center field, not just Towles Hill, but a snow hill, we are bringing that to Light Up the Park this holiday season. Fans will be able to go in. It's an add-on that they will be able to have and then be able to slide down a hill in center field.
How about that?
Sounds like a good time.
That's awesome. So it'll be December 4th through January 3rd. And starting today, fans can pick up their tickets for Light Up the Park. Right now, Eric Velasquez and Joe Espada are coming out of the dugout to check on Jeremy Pena after that last swing as he fouled one away and is down in the count 0-2. Pena singled his first time up.
Did he foul that ball off his back foot? Back leg, back. Kind of flexing that. Oh no.
I had visions of sledding down a hill going on when Jeremy was hitting that ball, and I did not see where it got him, but he seems to be fine. Here's the swing, Plummer.
Yeah, but watch that back leg of Jeremy Pena. Comes through, change up out in front, doesn't hit him. But he kind of comes out of that stance awkwardly.
I've already seen Pena on the IL twice already this year, so just kind of hold your breath whenever the training staff goes out to check on him. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Pena down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Trevor Rogers and 2 outs in the inning. All right, so let's get to this homestand. You got the Orioles in town tomorrow. Obviously, today's Christmas in July. Tomorrow's Kids Day at the ballpark.
Kids Day at the ballpark. It's always a fun day. Sundays are usually family days, but we have specifically dedicated this one to the kids. So you will have kid-friendly activities all throughout the ballpark. You may even have some kids that are going to kind of help us man some of our duties that we have going on, whether it be pregame, whether it be up in the control room. You may have a kid go and announce some of the starting lineup. And I know that we do have kids that have drawn our starting lineup, so you may see their drawings up as players are coming up to bat. So always a fun day. And with that, 10,000 fans will be able to walk away with their own Orbit keychain. So if you are a fan of Orbit, be able to clip that onto your purse, clip it onto your belt loop, clip it onto your keys, and be able to kind of sport that around. So it's really super cool.
And for a small fee, they can work the 3rd through 5th with TK.
I'm going to tell you from personal experience, it's fun.
It's a great deal of fun. Not fun when you see pitches up and in to your MVP candidate, depending on how much time we have. But City Connect Monday is a big Monday. Big Monday and Wednesday coming up because we got Naruto night. Do you know what that is?
I do know what Naruto night. Yes, so anime. It is our very first anime night.
But we ran out of time.
Yes, look, see,
I'm never going to know. I'm going to have to find out on Wednesday for Naruto.
Look up Naruto. It's great.
Look at us.
At least we look good.
Yes.
It was striking out the side inning, and they're handing out coal to Orioles fans on Christmas in July. Jason Wooden joining us. No score after 3. fourth, and Jeremy Pena has had to leave the game. The Astros have a new shortstop in. Nick Allen taking over at short. We will try to get a report as soon as possible on Jeremy Pena's status. He has left a game earlier this year with a cramp that was not too severe. In fact, he played in the next game, so we hope for the best. And hopefully it's just something minor. This ball sent foul down the left field line off the bat of Pete Alonso. And the fourth inning's underway with strike one. This field for Jeremy, it's been a rough year staying healthy.
It's been terrible. Yeah, he had that quick IL stint where he was only on for 10 days, came back, seemed to be fine. But until we know what it is, we can only wait and see. But that's got to be frustrating for Joe Espada. We know how important Jeremy Pena is at the top of the lineup.
And he's been rolling, too, the last couple of weeks. So it's a 1-1 count on Alonso. He flied out to center his first time up. Spencer still has not allowed a hit. He has allowed 3 walks in this game. As Arrighetti works here in the fourth. Be Alonso, Samuel Basayo, and Dylan Beavers. 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up. Got in on Alonso with that fastball. It's 2-2. Pete Alonso hitting the ball harder than ever this year. Highest exit velocity average of his career, and also the highest hard hit percentage of his career. Leads the Orioles at home runs and runs batted in. Takes a pitch up, and the count goes full. That's going to be down and away, and that is ball 4. Alonso wanted another pitch, but Honora said you can go to first if you want. 4 walks allowed by Arrighetti.
That's how locked in Pete Alonso was. Didn't know it was a walk.
Lost track of the count. So he'll be a leadoff base runner, first leadoff runner for Baltimore. And Alonso's going to try to steal a base. He just hopped to a lead and ended up taking second without a throw as the ball got by Yiner. Spencer never checked him, and now the Polar Bears 3 for 3 in steals this year.
Watch him just kind of wander out there, testing the limits of Spencer Arrighetti, and as soon as he figured out he wasn't paying attention and went home, he used that momentum to steal second. A savvy veteran base running move by Pete Alonso.
Almost could have gotten to third had he known the ball was at the backstop, as Basayo gets hit by that pitch. So there's a hit batter to go along with the walk to start the inning. Now the Orioles have runners on first and second with nobody out.
Almost hit him with the previous pitch. It was a cutter. That was a sweeper that got that back foot of Basayo. That's 12 hit batters this season for Spencer.
So the Orioles have had 5 base runners today, still without a base hit. Now a word from TXU Energy.
TXU Energy Ultimate Season Pass. 50% off energy charges during peak summer and winter, plus more months of savings.
Well, Dylan Beavers, who flied out to left, will be the hitter. Astros have all 3 hits in the game, and they came in the first inning. 3 of the first 4 hitters picked up singles. But nothing since between the Orioles and Astros hitters. Isaac Paredes is anticipating a bunt. So is Christian Walker. They're coming in on the corners. Beavers batting with first and second, nobody out. Spencer tried to see if he would tip his hand, and he did not, at least on a little inside move to second. No sign of a bunt as Beavers takes it down for ball one. Dillon has one sacrifice this year. The Orioles have 11 as a team. A little bit low, 2-0. Hit hard down the right field side. That's going to the corner, and that's going to score a run. Pete Alonso will cross the plate. It's a 1-0 Orioles lead on the RBI double by Dylan Beavers. His 10th double of the year.
Beavers found himself in a hitter's count. He got a fastball. Didn't get it on the outside and laid it over the middle, and Beavers takes advantage of it, ripping it into that right field corner. Coverage on the wire cam brought to you by our partners at Defy. As you see the base runners moving around. Alonso scoring easily. Sayo getting into third base and Beavers into second. The infield's going to have to play in now with Cowser.
Arrighetti able to strike out Cowser for the 5th time in 7 head-to-head at bats his last time up. He'll look for another strikeout here. Instead, he puts it in play, but Walker will keep the run from scoring. Christian will make the tag. Actually, he never tagged him, but Cowser was out of the baseline, so that'll be out number 1. So that's 1 out without the runners moving from second and third. Arrighetti will go after Christian Encarnacio Strand. A blue ball beginning to warm up at the Astros pen. Little pop-up. That'll do the trick. 2 pitches after the double by Beavers, and the Orioles have 2 outs and runners still at second and third.
Those are 2 less than ideal at bats with the runner at third base, less than 2, and Spencer gets those 2 outs quick. He could limit damage right here if he attacks Holiday.
The last thing you expect after a walk, hit batter, 2-0 count double is first pitch swinging for the next 2 hitters.
Yeah. And if you do, you better get the barrel on it.
Astros will take it. Now the patient hitter, Jackson Holiday. Launches one wide, 1-0. There's a strike as he clips the outside corner with that curveball. It's 1-1. Spencer can escape this inning with only 1 run. That's a win for him. Gave up his first hit in this inning, the RBI double by Dylan Beavers. Another one that could have clipped the outside edge. Brian O'Nora said it was off the plate. Yainer Diaz won a challenge earlier. He's going to challenge this one, ABS powered by T-Mobile, and Yainer got another.
Nice. Yainer got a feel for that zone and that backdoor breaking ball.
2 for 2 in challenges today for Yainer. And now Spencer a pitch away from getting out of this inning with only 1 run allowed. Checked his swing on a pitch up. It's 2-2.
Diddy on our Mattress Firm Supermo. Looks like he held up. Everybody asking for it. Full deflation.
Oh, he got him. Got him looking at a pitch at the bottom of the zone. Spencer works around second and third. Nobody out. Does give up a run, and the Baltimore Orioles lead 1-0.
Is Wednesday, July 22nd. Get the exclusive add-on ticket to score a limited edition Jeremy Pena Naruto-inspired bobblehead while supplies last. Visit Astros.com/Naruto.
Bottom of the fourth inning, Astros down for the first time as Isaac Paredes leads things off. 3, 4, and 5 hitters facing Trevor Rogers, who is on a roll lately. He has retired the last 7 batters, 5 of them on strikeouts, including striking out the side last inning. Rogers, who was traded 2 trade deadlines ago from Miami to Baltimore, really had a great year with the Orioles last year. This one fouled off. It's 1-2. Rogers in his second full season with the Orioles, his 3rd overall. Last year he pitched in 18 starts, today being his 18th start of 2026. Last year he pitched to a 1.81 earned run average. This year it's been a little different, 4.48 ERA. A lot of it has to do with once he gets to 2 strikes. Last year he was dominant with 2 strikes, a 350 OPS against him with 2 strikes. This year that number up to 653. Count stays 3-2 on Isaac, who's the Astros' best when it comes to 2-strike hitting, other than Yordan Alvarez. Rogers got votes last year for the Cy Young Award for the first time in his career, finishing the top 10 in Cy Young balloting. And Isaac continues to foul off 3-2 pitches.
Yeah, making them work. Seeing everything in this at bat. Cutter, changeup, sinker, sweeper, another changeup, and just fouled off 95.
That one's popped foul near the Orioles dugout and behind the Orioles dugout. Quite a launch angle on that foul ball.
75 degree. It's a home run in an elevator shaft.
Typical east side foul ball.
Yep.
And in case you missed the news during last night's game, Isaac and his fiance celebrating the birth of a baby boy during the All-Star break just 3 days ago. Isaac Paredes Jr., 3 days old. So congrats to Isaac and his fiance.
Timed that beautifully, didn't he? Over the All-Star break. He does everything right.
That one's out of play as he continues to make Rogers work. Rogers only needed 9 pitches in the second, 13 pitches in the third. And this will be the 11th pitch of this at bat. Into play to left. He hit it pretty hard, but playable. Taylor Ward makes the catch. It's a great plate appearance, even though he has nothing to show for it.
It was a good plate appearance. Yellowwood is bringing the lumber, and so is Jose Altuve in the month of July. How about highest career OPS by month? And by 10 points, beating out June, is the month of July. 863 is that career OPS for Jose Altuve in this month of July.
Altuve picked up a single on an 0-2 pitch his first time up. Astros had 3 singles in the first inning of their first 4 batters, but could not score a run. Double play off the bat of Yordan Alvarez did not help things. This one on the ground to short. Gunnar Henderson is there. And that's the second out of the inning. Two out, space is cleared for Christian Walker. Astros playing game number 100 on the season this afternoon. They lost their last 2 series going into the All-Star break, dropping 2 out of 3 to the Nationals in D.C. and then 2 out of 3 to the Rangers in Arlington. First pitch swinging 0-1.
Kind of grabbed at that right side.
Oh boy.
After that swing.
Well, we've already seen Jeremy Pena leave this game after an awkward foul ball on an 0-1 count, and now on a first pitch check swing.
Kind of stretch out that right side. He dealt with a little bit of that oblique injury in last season, his first season with the Astros, coming out of spring training. Kind of fought it all year long, getting through it. A pretty lengthy conversation about that right side region area.
It's Taylor Witzak out there, the assistant athletic trainer, checking on Christian Walker. And he is going to leave the game. My goodness.
Man, oh man.
So the starting shortstop and leadoff hitter Jeremy Pena leaves the game, and now the starting first baseman and generally the cleanup hitter, although today he's the 5 hitter Christian Walker, will leave the game. Here comes Lamont Wade Jr. inheriting an 0-1 count. He will obviously take over at first base, and now the Astros will have 3 lefties in the lineup against a lefty killer Trevor Rogers. So we're awaiting 2 updates from the clubhouse. Jeremy Pena and now Christian Walker.
It's disappointing. That's a tough way to begin your post All-Star break. You're trying to vie for the American League West, and you potentially lose your leadoff man and a middle hitter in the middle part of your order, and your best defensive first baseman.
Yeah, no errors for Walker over his last 123 games. And some great plays with picks, and his defense has definitely been a step above Gold Glove worthy here in 2026. Lamont Wade Jr. facing Rogers, and it's down on the count 0-2. Game number 100 on the season has not been something the Astros have enjoyed today to this point, trailing 1-0 and having 2 of their starting infielders go down with potential injuries. Lamont's only faced Trevor Rogers once in his career. It was a few years ago when he was a Giant. And Trevor was a Marlin. He struck out looking against him. That one's wide, 1-2. Mont's done a nice job for the Astros. He walked 3 times yesterday. Did have his 3-game hitting streak snapped. Hits this ball hard, and it's off the glove of Encarnacion Strand into left field. Astros have their first base runner since Jose Altuve's single in the first. Rogers had retired 9 in a row.
That's a nice swing on a tough pitch down and away. 4-seamer down and away. He just drops the barrel on it, hits it hard. Encarnacion Strand kind of gets eaten up by it.
We're going to give Encarnacion Strand an error on that play.
Dang it.
Ball hit in the air to right field, hit pretty deep near the wall, and putting it away at the wall is Dylan Beavers as he flips it to the crowd for the final out. Astros get 1 base runner on the error, 1 man left on. We're through 4 in a 1-0 game. Chen is presented by Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. By Uber Eats. Game day cravings? Order Wing Bay on Uber Eats now. And by TxDOT. TxDOT reminds fans that speeding can throw you a curveball. Slow down. Be safe. Drive smart. Christmas in July at Daikin Park, and the Astros have had a few lumps of coal thrown at them today with a couple of injuries on the infield. We saw Nick Allen take over at shortstop earlier for Jeremy Pena. Now Lamont Wade Jr. who pinch hit for Christian Walker taking over at first base. Lamont Wade Jr. has played plenty of first base, not a new position for him.
Yeah, you probably could have slid DeZenzo in there if you had to, too, at first base. But Wade Jr. has a ton of experience at first base. A lot of games there with the Giants.
So we head to the fifth with the Astros down 2 players and down 1-0. Spencer Arrighetti delivers a strike to Adley Rutschman. Rutschman has struck out and walked. Fouls this one out of play. It's 0-2. Spencer today through 4 innings has only allowed 1 hit. 4 walks and a hit batter also in the mix, and one of those walks came around to score. That one's wide as 1-1. Excuse me, 1-2. Rutschman struck out in that first inning, snapping a string of 34 straight plate appearances without a K. Hits this ball hard to right, turning Cam Smith around, but he finds it in time and backpedals and crashes up against the wall just for good measure. Cam didn't catch that ball initially off the bat, but made a good adjustment to make this play.
Toughest play is that one right at you, especially with a hard hit baseball, but good footwork by Cam to get back there and make that play.
I know the wall's coming. There it is. Here's Gunnar Henderson. He popped up on the first pitch he saw last at bat. Goes after the first pitch again and fouls it away. Gunnar batted leadoff yesterday. He and Rutschman switching spots today. Strike called on the outside edge. Henderson wasn't sure. It's 0-2. Spencer had 3 strikeouts in the first inning. He's up to 5 now as we play in the 5th. Just a little bit below the zone, 1-2. AJ blue ball warming for the 2nd consecutive inning. .42 out of 80 strikes today for Spencer. Coming off a start against the Nationals where he threw 48 out of 94 strikes. Strikeout on a ball that goes to the backstop, and Gunnar Henderson's not even going to attempt to go down to first. Well, Gunnar swung at a pitch that was way inside to the point where Yiner didn't catch it, and then he just gave himself up at the plate.
Yeah, power sweeper down and in, and Gunnar definitely offered at it. You'll see it on our Matches from Superman. That barrel got way out. Yiner not able to reach back across as that ball gets to the backstop, but Gunnar not going anywhere. It's an easy tag.
Taylor Ward takes the curveball up. Ward has struck out and flied out to right. 14.3 chase percentage from Ward. That is the best in all of baseball. He will force you into the zone. Goes after that pitch on the inside corner and grounds one to Paredes. That'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Spencer Arrighetti, who is now retired the last 6. We are halfway home in a 1-0 game.
Play is presented by HEB. How about we watch the only cycle in Jeff Bagwell's career? He goes single, double, homer. Only one thing left to do back on July 18th of 2001 is get that triple. I think Albert Pujols helped him out a little bit by being less than aggressive on that ball in the gap. And Baggy obliges by hustling all the way into third base for his first and only cycle in his career back in 2001.
Astros batting here, bottom of the 5th inning, 7, 8, and 9 due up. The outfielders facing Trevor Rogers, Cam Smith, Zach DeZenzo, and Lucas Spence. Cam struck out his first time up. Rogers with 5 strikeouts through 4 innings. Missing in his 2-1. Rogers has been very good his last 4 starts. Has not allowed more than 1 run in any of those 4 starts and has gone those 4 starts with only allowing a total of 2 runs against the Dodgers, 7 innings of 1-hit shutout baseball, against the Nationals, 6 1/3 of 1-run baseball, 5 shutout innings in Cincinnati, and then 6 innings of 1-run baseball against the Cubs in his last start, with the only run being a home run. And he continues to pitch well today, striking out Cam Smith looking. That'll be strikeout number 6 and 1 away in the 5th inning. So you add all that up, including today's outing, that's 28 2/3 innings of 2-run baseball. Here's Zach DeZenzo with a strike. Last 5 starts, that works out to a 0.63 ERA, including today.
It's not bad.
That's pretty solid. He is finding his groove as the season moves along to the second half. Remember, we're well beyond the second half now, but it's just past the All-Star break. Today, game number 100. This ball hit hard, and that's going to be a base hit. Zach DeZenzo on a 1-1 pitch delivers the Astros' first base hit since the first inning.
Good swing by Zach. He had to go out and get this fastball on the outside edge. That big 6'6" frame, able to extend those arms and pull it past Gunnar Henderson. A nice swing. Yeah, I think that's kind of, you keep mentioning this is game 100. It's not much season left. You have got to sprint towards the end. You've got to fight for every double. Not that you haven't to get to this point, but at the same time, you're starting to run out of games quickly.
Astros from like game 22 to game 72 for like a 50-game span. We're in that. Hey, how about Lucas Spence?
Good swing.
Lucas Spence has 2 career hits in the big leagues, both against lefties, and today against one of the tougher lefties against all of baseball against left-hand hitters.
Tried to get that fastball inside, but how about the compact swing from Spence? Nice, short, quick. You just see that barrel just kind of traveled down the shoulder, was quick into the zone to get that barrel to it and go back up the middle. And both those base hits, to your point, TK, have been back up the middle too. So he's not pulling off the ball. He's not getting jammed. He's in a very good position to hit.
Now a word from Takerillo Hernandez.
Jeremy, and what does winning taste like? It's like going to your favorite spot. You just know. And when it's taqueria Arandas, always a home run.
So here's Nick Allen, first and second, one out. So anyway, from games like 22 to 72, they were somewhere in that 6 to 11 games under 500. They never left that zone. And then since then, they've been anywhere from 2 to 5 games under 500. And they haven't left that zone at all in the second half, but they are at that threshold today at 5 games under. And you'd rather them not dip below in that zone where they were for that 50-game span earlier in the year. Nick Allen batting for the first time, took over for Jeremy Pena, still awaiting word on both Pena and Christian Walker, who had to leave the games. Had to leave the game, Pena after the 3rd inning and Walker in the 4th. 1-1 the count to Nick Allen with Jordan on deck. Hits the ball foul. It's 1-2.
Outfield arms are presented by Lone Star College. We're going to test that arm of Taylor Ward out there in left field. Kowser's got a really good arm. We also have a pretty good arm out there in right field, and Dylan Beavers. Depending on how they approach that baseball might determine whether or not Tony Perez-Chica sends. DeCenzo's got decent speed to good speed out there.
Allen strikes out for the second out. Strikeout number 7 for Rogers. And now Jordan will bat with 2 outs and 2 on.
League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist, and Jordan striding to the plate. Let's talk about highest on-base percentage this season. A lot of players at 400 or better, but at 43% with a pretty good lead over Juan Soto is Jordan Alvarez. 431. Next closest at 412. And if you stay in the American League, the next closest to him in the American League is Nick Kurtz. 405.
Jordan was on an on-base heater coming into this game. He had been on base in 14 of his last 18 plate appearances. That's a 778 on-base percentage of those 18 plate appearances. But today he's 0 for 2. As Rogers has not allowed him much in his career. He is 0 for 5 against this lefty with 3 strikeouts. But now Trevor down on the count 2-0. Jordan does come into today with a 4-game hitting streak. 8 hits and 6 walks during that 4-game hitting streak. Chops a foul over the dugout into the camera well. They hit that cameraman on the head.
That's not good.
He seems fine. He's laughing about it. And now we need help.
Oh man, how bad do you want it?
Where's the opening? Where is it?
Nice work. Congrats. Patience pays off.
Broken bat towards the middle, and stepping on second is Gunnar Henderson to retire Jordan Alvarez for the final out of the inning. 2 hits, 2 left on. We're through 5 in a 1-0 game.
MLB fan, seeing it all. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile is the ultimate bucket list. Enter now for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. Yes, all 30. MLB.com/Journey to 30 sweeps. Plummer.
Thank you, Lauren. Back here, Dyken Park. AJ Blubaugh into this game in relief of Spencer Arrighetti, who went 5 innings. 36 outings. How about the number of innings that AJ Blubaugh's thrown to get to that 3.75 ERA? 60 innings in those 36 appearances. Put you on a leaderboard. He leads Major League Baseball as far as relievers innings pitched.
Four, 5, and 6-2 up against Blubaugh in his first inning of work. Spencer Arrighetti goes 5 innings today, only allowed 1 hit and retired the last 6 batters. There were 4 walks and a hit by pitch in the mix. Spencer gave up 1 run in those 5 innings and struck out 6. He'll leave after 85 pitches today. And AJ Blubaugh will likely give the Astros multiple innings. Astros have some guys in their pen that can give them some length now. Multiple options for multiple innings because Christian Javier's out there right now in the pen. A.J. Bluebaugh is obviously a candidate to give them multiple innings. And Kaiwei Dung is back off the IL. So that's 3 guys who can all give you 2 to 3 innings if you want. Astros still have not figured out how they're going to line things up for that Marlins series. But for now, they have 3 long guys in the bullpen. Alonso with a 3-1 count. That's right on the outside corner. Well-placed pitch. It's 3-2.
I know we're dealing with the Baltimore Orioles, but you mentioning the Miami Marlins, that's a frightening series. This is a sneaky good team if you haven't been paying attention.
Really good. I know they're struggling lately, having lost 4 in a row. And it's walk number 5 allowed by Astros pitching. Bluebaugh walks the first batter he faces. Second time Alonso has walked today. And the Marlins started the day 6 games over 500 at 52-46 despite the 4-game losing streak. They're playing in Milwaukee today. The next 2 series, Blummer, Miami here at home, probably the surprise team in the National League, and then the White Sox on the road, probably the surprise team in the American League. Those are not going to be easy series.
Yeah, they're definitely not playing like they have in the past. You kind of look at those, pad the numbers a little bit and pick up some W's, but you're going to have to fight through some of those teams who are surprising everybody. And you're right about the White Sox. Over the years, they've been able to accrue some talent. Now they're getting to perform at the big league level. And maybe some might say maybe a little overachieving, but you've got to be able to have guys that have the ability to do that if you're going to shock some people. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, if you see this trio of teams coming in, Baltimore and then Miami and then go to the White Sox, you would never have thought at the beginning of the year the Orioles would have the worst record of those 3, but that's where it is.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about, right?
Yeah, the Orioles come in at basically the same record as the Astros, 4 games under, Astros 5 games under. Marlins and White Sox having good seasons, 4 games under, or 6 games over respectively. Basayo goes down on strikes. Good comeback by A.J. Bluebaugh after the walk. And there's 1 away here in the inning.
The changeup and sweeper has made Bluebaugh very competitive against left-handed hitters, but he does such a good job of being able to turn that pitch over. There was a great visual on it on our Mattress Firm Supermo of him really kind of rolling over that changeup to create that down and away movement.
First pitch strike to Dylan Beavers. It's 0-1. By the way, in that Miami game today in Milwaukee, they did lead 3-0 at one point. The Brewers' first run on the board thanks to a sacrifice fly by Braden Shoemake making his Brewers debut. Shoemake was traded from the Astros last week to the Brewers for cash considerations. Still not sure how the Brewers intend to use Lance McCullers Jr., but he is on the active roster. And the Brewers have been dealing with a lot of pitching injuries lately.
They just had one recently too, didn't they? Woodruff, I believe, with a shoulder. He has to have shoulder surgery.
It's not good news for them at all.
Yeah, so it might alter maybe the plans they did have for Lance. But they always seem to have pitching.
This ball hit hard into right, coming on Cam Smith. Did he trap it? Yes, he did. That's a trap. Everybody advances. At least the one runner, Alonso, good heads-up base running as he saw that ball hit the ground. Cam almost made a great shoestring catch, but it just bounced.
Ball hit hard off the bat of Beavers, and you can see that trap right there as Cam got that on the short hop. Credit Pete Alonso for reading that beautifully. Kind of got to that halfway point and was able to hustle in and get that base hit for Dylan Beavers.
I'm seeing now on X that Lance is going to start out his Brewers career in their bullpen.
Okay.
Probably is a long guy, you would imagine, since he's already stretched out coming off his injury. So first and second for the Baltimore Orioles. Both hits for the O's from Dylan Beavers. Now Colton Cowser will bat. Cowser struck out and grounded out today. And is 1 for 6 in his return to his hometown. Pitch is down, 1-1. One run on 2 hits for Baltimore. No runs on 5 hits for the Astros. Blue ball trying to work around first and second and 1 out. This ball hit hard but foul.
Man.
Last year when Cowser faced blue ball in Baltimore, he hit a sweeper out for a home run. He's 1 for 3 lifetime with that 1 home run. Jay likes to throw him change-ups when he gets to 2 strikes. He's ahead of the count here, 1-2. Didn't get him to chase that change. It's 2-2. Cowser, Sam Houston State guy. So went to high school right here. Ball hit sharply off the mound. That helped. Nick Allen steps on the bag and turns a double play. Inning over. AJ Blueball gives up hard contact, but it hits the mound and goes right to Nick Allen for 2. Those Astros out hitting Baltimore 5-2, but trail 1-0. It'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up. Isaac Paredes, Jose Altuve, and Lamont Wade Jr. took over for Christian Walker. This ball hit hard down the line, but it's hooking foul. It's 0-1. Paredes has singled and lined out to left. He's had some of the best swings against Trevor Rogers today.
You are in my head. I completely agree. He's one guy in this lineup that's actually seeing the ball well off of Rogers.
This ball hit high in the air, deep down the left field line. It is hooking, and it is just foul. Didn't miss a home run by much.
Come on.
You need to adjust the ballpark when he's batting.
Yeah, he needs to stand up there like Doug DeCinces or Don Baylor. Just put his back to the pitcher, and all of a sudden those swings would be 15 feet fair.
If he pretended the center field was the left field line, he would have a lot more home runs.
I mean, you could play over the line with this guy. Just put everybody in left. I mean, he'll surprise you every once in a while with a base hit the other way, but if he's trying to go yah-yah, it's usually to that pull side.
Counts 0-2 on Isak. 4-game hitting streak for Isak going with that hit his first time up. Ball in the air to center. Colton Cowser doesn't have to move very far, and that's the first out of the inning.
All in, all the time is presented by Daily in Black. Jose Altuve coming to the plate. He was hitting in that 5 spot today, or 4 spot today. But the 4-5 hitters for the Astros in wins rake. In losses, a little bit of a downfall. You can see that average sub 200, that OPS sub 600. But if they're going out there and winning ball games, you're usually getting some pretty good production from those 4-5 hitters. We talked about that in the open. Jordan does a lot of things, but you need some of those guys behind him to do some of that damage, and usually it should be your 4-5 hitters.
Altuve flies to right on the first pitch he sees, second out of the inning. Now Lamont Wade Jr. hit the ball sharply. It's a play that they might review. Scored an error on Christian Encarnacion Strand, but you can see that one turning into a hit, possibly.
Absolutely. I don't think I'm ever going to be mistaken for being on the side of a pitcher. But that was definitely a well-struck baseball against a tough lefty to the left side of Strand, who kind of olayed it. Roger Dorn
came off the bat at 98.5.
Okay, so that's hard hit.
Hardest hit baseball of the game was that single by Lucas Spence against the lefty Rogers.
How about it?
Yeah, Lucas hit at 106.9. 2-1 the count to Lamont. And that one's down. It's 3-1. So Rogers, who has thrown a lot of strikes today, 83 pitches, 60 strikes. A rare hitter's count for him. A 3-1 count to Lamont Wade Jr. Diaz on deck if this inning continues. And that'll be ball 4. Astros have another base runner. Lamont Wade Jr. on base for the 4th time in this series via walk, and he's been on base twice in this game. With a pinch hit, reaching on an error, now a walk. Here's Yainer. Yainer is grounded out and flied out to right. That was a pitch, huh?
That was, and I was kind of thinking that, you know, Rogers is pitching so well, gives up that walk, and then you have Yainer behind him, who's been swinging the bat well and has had some good second halves like we showed you in the last 3 years. You make a mistake up out of a play, he could change this ball game in a hurry with one big swing. Call the bartender.
Little looper, that might work
yeah.
if it stays fair. That's going to be just foul down the right field line.
That would have been magnificent.
Yainer never let go of the bat, but he almost had himself a little drop shot single.
Almost punched that one down the right field line. Not blown up by that fastball in and just league foul. I feel the same way, DC. Go back to that post All-Star break numbers for him in the last 3 years, totaling 174 games at average almost at 329 home runs. That's a nice season right there.
Yainer goes after the fastball and strikes out. That's 8 strikeouts for Rogers. And he is through 6 innings of shutout baseball. Baltimore leading 1-0.
Powered by Reliant. Only 29 players in Major League history have hit for multiple cycles. 2 of those had at least one of them as an Astro. Who were those? A couple of players who had a cycle with the Astros and had multiple cycles in their career. Astros trivia powered by Reliant.
AJ Blueball back out for a 2nd inning of work. Worked around a single and a walk last inning. Got a double play off the bat of Colton Cowser to end the 6th. He's got the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Christian Encarnacion Strand, Jackson Holiday, and Adley Rutschman. April 13th was the trade that sent Strand to the Baltimore Orioles from the Cincinnati Reds. He played 128 games as a Red in 23, 24, and 25. And this year has been at AAA the whole season until today. Making his Orioles debut with a fly out to center and a pop up to first. Ryan Abreu had been warming in the bottom half of the 6th inning when the Astros failed to score. Blue ball given a second inning of work here. It's a broken bat. Can Lamont Wade Jr. get there? Tough play, and it's off the netting. And a foul ball. It's 1-2. Good hack at that fastball as he fouls it straight back. It stays 1-2.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to get jammed on that fastball again, so he sped things up a little bit. See if AJ can get to that sweeper. It's been all fastballs in this at bat to Encarnacion and Strand. Oh, he likes that changeup.
Yeah, righty on righty changeup.
Let's go.
Last year used it about 19% of the time. It's ticked up this year, 21.5% usage. That one down the line. I don't think there's going to be a play on this one either. If there was a play, you know Cam would make it. He got over there in a hurry.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't give up on that baseball. I think it was that there was an outing in Detroit for AJ Blueball where we talked to him the next day and he really started to talk about how he felt much better about the changeup. It was that outing in Detroit where he had started to get a good feel for it. So he liked the way the sweeper was coming out of the hand as well. I feel like since that time he's been pitching really well.
There you go.
Sweeper.
Has been getting a lot of strikeouts, and he gets one on the sweeper there for the first out of the inning.
Good look at it, breaking off that UTMB Anderson strike zone.
Every at bat, AJ Blueball does that stretch with his arms extended above his head. Whether it's a strikeout or a hit or a home run allowed, he just always goes back there, and that's kind of his zen moment to reset as he looks at each individual at bat as its own battle within the course of the game. He just tries to remind himself to stay present and stay focused for every hitter. Orioles have their bullpen moving. Trevor Rogers could be at his limit. He's not a guy that usually goes 100 pitches. He's at 87 right now. As blue ball misses, it's 2-1. Rico Garcia, the right-hander, flipping a baseball. He's had enough pitches to warm up at this point. Now the count's 3-1. Blue ball walked the first batter he faced, Pete Alonso. Also gave up a hit last inning. Now full count on Holiday. Swing and a miss. Got him on the high fastball. Blue ball picking up his third strikeout, second of the inning. Stream Space City Home Network all summer long directly with SCHN Plus. Start streaming today by purchasing the app at SCHNplus.com. If you already have Space City Home Network, you can download the SCHN Plus app and log in at no additional cost. First pitch fouled, 0-1. Mentioning the rain earlier in the Northeast, the Yankees and Dodgers were postponed in their game. They'll play a day-night doubleheader tomorrow, which is never fun on a getaway day. Phillies are in a rain delay in their game with the Mets. And Boston was delayed earlier, but they're now playing against Tampa Bay. Blue ball trying to get through this inning. In the best of fashions, he's already struck out 2, and now he's 0-2 on Adley Rutschman. Out of 31,649, trying to get some excitement going here. And I think, Plummer, if the Astros do face a new pitcher, even though the bullpen's been good for the Orioles during this winning streak, it'll be nice to see someone other than Trevor Rogers.
Man, you ain't lying. Rogers has been carving them up, racking up strikeouts. The Astros have been known to do some damage against bullpens. They'd love to be able to do it against anybody else than Trevor Rogers. They've had plenty of opportunity to try and figure him out. They just have not been able to.
Season high 8 strikeouts for Rogers today.
Just filling up the strike zone.
Rutschman with the 1-2 count. And there's that changeup that we talked about. It's 2-2. Way up in the air. Out goes Allen, in comes Spence. It'll be the rookie taking charge for the final out. Good 2 innings for A.J. Blueball, shutout baseball. 7th inning stretch time here at Daikin Park. Rogers back out for more. Astros down 1-0. 7th inning stretch presented by Texas Mattress Makers. 8 level of the minor leagues, and Xavier Nyans and Anthony Hueso made their tourist debut yesterday. Nyans batted second, Hueso sixth, and Hueso hit a home run. And Nyans was also on base a couple of times. You can see their numbers on the year. Anthony Hueso hitting his first high A home run against Bagwell. Jeff is not making a return. It was Ethan Bagwell, pitcher, that was pitching at high A.
I just figured Baggy'd be great hitting because his shoulders all torn to shreds. Just lobbing them in there.
But everybody talks about Kevin Alvarez. Everybody talks about Xavier Nyans. But Hueso's
a good story.
Hueso's quietly making a name for himself.
Yep.
So we'll see how they fare in their new level of the minor leagues. We thought maybe Rogers would be out of the game, but here he is back for more. He's only gone 100 pitches once this year, as he starts the inning with 87 on his ledger. So they'll probably go batter to batter with him as Rico Garcia continues to warm up in the Orioles bullpen. Cam Smith has struggled against Rogers today, a couple of strikeouts.
We talked about Nyans getting on base in those last 30 games. I think I heard his on base percentage was .489.
Wow.
Getting on base at a pretty good clip, almost 50%. That's pretty strong to quite strong.
Astros have some good young talent at the Class A level, and those two guys moving up from low A to high A. 2-2 the count to Cam, leading off here, bottom of the 7th.
And he stays alive with a foul ball. Cam with that home run, a big spot against the Rangers in that game Sunday before the All-Star break, but that's his only hit in his last 21 at-bats. You've seen that batting average drop to 214. He'd love to find a way to get on base here. Hits the ball towards the hole, but Encarnacio Strand makes the play to his left, and there's one away in the 7th. I'll bring up Zach DeZenzo. Zach has one of the 5 hits against Rogers. Singled in his last time up. Astros have 5 hits today. They've all been singles, 3 in the first inning. Jeremy Pena, Isaac Paredes, and Jose Altuve, and then back-to-back hits in the 6th from DeZenzo and Lucas Spence.
Yeah, you just look at the pitches that Rogers has thrown. He hasn't had to throw too many high leverage or stressful type pitches. So that might be why they're trying to extend him a little bit.
We have not heard any reports at this point from the Astros clubhouse. Maybe you have. Oh, we do have reports.
We do.
I did not see this note.
Thank goodness.
Pena, and we were hoping for a cramp. It is a hamstring cramp.
That's good news.
The foul ball, by the way. So Pena leaves the game after his at-bat in the 3rd inning with a hamstring cramp, and then Christian Walker, tightness in his right hip.
Right hip.
Right hip tightness.
Okay.
So those are your updates on Jeremy Pena and Christian Walker, and why Joe Espada had to maneuver that lineup card early today and put Nick Allen in and Lamont Wade in the 4th inning.
So hopefully day to day instead of some injured list stints would be nice.
For sure the cramp would lend itself towards not being serious. We'll see how the tightness does for Christian Walker. How about Zach DeZenzo with a multi-hit game? 2-strike pitch. DeZenzo delivers a hit to right, and he's a 1-out base runner.
Nice piece, using the whole field. Pulled one into left for that previous base hit. This one looked like a fastball way off the outside corner, and he's using that length to be able to just kind of force that one the other way. Nicely done.
So now Lucas Spence, who has the hardest hit baseball of the night or afternoon against Rogers with a single his last time up, hits this ball into right field. He has a multi-hit game. DeZenzo's going to go first to third. The throw by Beavers, not in time with a head-first slide. Ball gets away, but not far enough for Spence to advance. How about the 8 and 9 hitters starting this rally?
I love it. A couple of youngsters getting it done. This energy boost is powered by TXU Energy. They went to the spin, maybe a little bit off the outside corner, but it gets to that right field side, not hit very hard, and DeZenzo made a great read on this one, knowing it was going to be a base hit, forcing the issue, forcing the play, and he hustles himself into third base. Nice piece of hitting by Spence, and aggressive base running by the big man, getting all the way into third base. It's a lot of fun at the bottom part of the order.
Greg Alvarez out there having a word with his pitcher, Trevor Rogers. I'm not sure if this is a pitching change or just a vote of confidence to keep going here at 99 pitches. Now that's it for him. He's only thrown 100 pitches once this year and 11 times in his career. We have a pitching change. Rico Garcia will face Nick Allen with runners on the corners and 1 out.
The Astros Buddies Club presented by HEB today. Buddies Club members receive a drawstring bag, widget hat, widget charms, socks, lanyard, and 4 tickets to an Astros game. Visit astros.com/buddies to sign up today. Back here at Daikin Park, Christmas in July. They would love a gift of a couple of runs in this inning to try and fight back against these Baltimore Orioles. They did finally knock Trevor Rogers out of this game. Rico Garcia in 44 games. 2.61 is his ERA. That whip is under 1. 43 strikeouts in those 41 and a third for Rico.
Infield in fairly tight. First and third, 1 out. Nick Allen showing bunt and takes a pitch down and away, ball 1.
Again, that first and third safety bunt, push it towards that first baseman and let the speed of DeZenzo come in and score, try and tie this thing up.
Middle of the diamond is halfway, so they could either try and come home or go for 2 if they think they have a double play opportunity. No bunt shown here, and a foul ball swinging. It's 1-1.
Can always put that bunt back on, even in this 1-1 count.
Eight, 9 hitters with hits in their last 2 at bats. DeZenzo and Spence. Bunt is back on towards the right side. Garcia thought about heading home, and he gets the out at first. Astros tie it up as Nick Allen gets the bunt down to make it a 1-1 game.
That was beautifully executed. Garcia had thoughts of coming home, but I think that speed of DeZenzo changed the idea. This bunt gets down early. Watch DeZenzo anticipate and gets a great jump. Sliding to the outside part of the plate, and luckily Garcia gets that baseball to first base to have it there just in time to get Nick Allen. So a perfectly executed safety squeeze by the Astros puts that run on the board. The only problem is you vacate first base, and the boos tell you that they've intentionally walked Yordan Alvarez.
16th time he has been intentionally walked this year. Nobody in baseball has been given the free pass more often. And now Isaac Paredes bats with the go-ahead run at second base. Isaac facing Rico Garcia for the first time. That run charged to Trevor Rogers, still responsible for Lucas Spence at second base. First pitch is a slider for a strike, 0-1. Astros have Ryan Abreu and Steven Okert warming in their bullpen. Pitch up, it's 2-1. Jose Altuve, who moved into the cleanup spot today for the first time since late April, is on deck. That one's wide. It is 3-1 on Paredes. Well, 3-2 count. Runners will be off. Any base hit to the outfield should score the go-ahead run. Ground ball to third. Encarnacion Strand makes the play, and that'll do it for the Astros in the 7th. They do tie the game on the safety squeeze by Nick Allen. It's now a 1-1 contest. We let you beat Dana Brown for one day and asked you if you were the GM, what would your top acquisition priority be? And almost 3/4 of you want a starting pitcher. 72% say starting pitcher over a lefty outfield bat. Thanks to those who voted in the Stroh poll. New pitcher for the Astros.
Tie ball game. Brian Abreu coming in here. Face 2, 3, 4 in this order. After Gunnar Henderson, you've got two right-handed hitters. That might be why you have Brian Abreu in there instead of a guy like Steven Okert. So an opportunity for Brian Abreu to keep this game tied up 1 apiece.
Henderson 0 for 3 today. Abreu drops in a slider for a strike. It's 1-1. Abreu has seen that velocity tick up a little bit in his last couple of outings. Pitched twice on the road trip, once in Arlington and once in DC. Gave up a run against the Rangers in his 1 inning of work. A little pop up towards second. Jose Altuve with the easy play. And Henderson out number 1 here in the 8th.
Slider tied him up.
Taylor Ward the batter. Abreu and Ward have faced each other a bunch with Taylor's time with the Angels. It's been advantage Brian Abreu in their head-to-head matchups. Taylor Ward 1 for 13 with 6 strikeouts. He has walked 3 times. And Abreu getting ahead 0-2. Slider has picked up the strikeout 3 of the last 4 times against Ward. Starts him with the 0-2 pitch up with the fastball. It's 1-2. Like the sliders coming here.
Over boogied. Held on a little bit too tight. Yanked that into the other box.
Ground ball, backing up on it, Isaac Paredes. His throw on the money. Ward retired for the 2nd out.
Los Astros is back on SCHN. Catch your Houston Astros in Spanish for next week's games against the Miami Marlins. Only on SCHN2 and streaming on SCHN Plus.
Now Pete Alonso the batter. Alonso's walked his last 2 times at the plate. He scored the Orioles' only run of the game. He fouls off the first pitch slider 0-1. To your point about this little section of the lineup with the 2 righties back-to-back in the 3-4 spot, this might be just a 3-batter outing for Abreu, whether he gets Alonso out or not.
I'm with you.
And then you got 3 lefties behind Pete.
Yeah, kind of stacked up with the lefties.
Kind of the spot you would anticipate for Okert, who is loose and ready to go, if in fact this is the last batter. No, it's 2-1 to Alonso, who was actually 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts in his career against Abreu. That was close. In fact, it was close enough that Yiner's going to challenge, and Honor's like, you didn't even catch that.
Catch is challenging.
I said, are you sure you're challenging that? Sometimes an umpire can be fooled based on how the catcher receives the baseball.
Hey, Yiner's on fire.
I did that on purpose.
Yeah, I set you up. He framed it so well that it threw Brian Honora off.
3 for 3 today on challenges.
Some good spots too. This one gets him to that 2-strike count. Slider backed up.
Feeling it today. ABS is my friend. 3-2 count to Alonso. And a little cue shot. It's going to stay in the air and be caught by Jose Altuve on that line drive to second. 1-2, 3 inning for Abreu in the 8th. Astros bat in the bottom half in a tie game. Comeback in National League history. No team's ever been down by more than 11 and come back to win. But the Astros on this date in 1994 were able to make it happen. They scored 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, then 11 runs, 6th inning as they came from down 11-0 to beat the St. Louis Cardinals 15-12 on this date, 1994.
Pretty impressive. Feels a little bit sweeter when you do it against the Cardinals too.
Right? 1-1 game. Today's not going to be a big comeback either way as the Orioles go back to a new arm in their pen.
Yeah, that's a big arm too. 6'4" right-hander Yenier Cano. He can bring it a little bit. 42 games, 31 innings, 28 strikeouts, and even with that power, he relies on that two-seam fastball to get a lot of ground balls. He's in that 60% range with that ground ball percentage. So he kind of relies a little more on contact and using that defense behind him.
Jose Altuve and then Lamont Wade Jr. and Yiner Diaz to face Cano here in the bottom of the 8th. Altuve taking a strike at the top of the zone, 1-1. Jose singled his first time up, breaking a tie with Jimmy Rollins on the career hit list. He's 1 for 3 today, 1 for 7 in this series. Takes a pitch for a strike and is down in the count 1-2.
It is challenging.
Jose, who leads the team in overturns, is going to challenge that 1-1 pitch that was called a strike. ABS powered by T-Mobile. Brian Honor's had a lot overturned today. This will not be one of them. The ball's fully in the zone. The Astros have 1 challenge remaining. Check his swing on a pitch off the plate. It's 2-2. Jose now 15 for 22 in overturns on the season. A little tapper off the plate, and that's foul. Astros manufactured a run last inning with a bunt with first and third and 1 out, scoring Zach DeZenzo. They have 7 hits today. They've all been singles. The Orioles only have 2 hits today. They've both been from Dylan Beavers. That's popped up beyond first. Pete Alonso will give way to Jackson Holliday, who makes the catch. Altuve retired for the first out of the 8th. Lamont Wade Jr. Mont came on for Christian Walker, who left with hip tightness, as we found out from the clubhouse a couple of innings ago. Reached on a sharply hit ground ball that was ruled an error and then also drew a walk, now batting for the 3rd time. Hits the ball sharply again, this time to the backhand of the shortstop Henderson, who makes the play for out number 2.
Time now to answer our trivia question, powered by Reliant. Only 29 players in Major League Baseball history have hit for multiple cycles. 2 of those had at least one of them as an Astro. Who were they? They were Cesar Cedeno and Bob Watson. Some great names. Great hitters, too.
Cedeno got both of his in an Astros uniform. Looking at the Astros head-to-head matchups with Yennier Cano, that injury to Christian Walker was poorly timed, as he was 2 for 2 against Cano with 2 home runs.
Oh, wow.
It would have batted in this inning. I'm not sure if Alvarez would have gone to Cano. You would think he would have. That's pretty strong short history. Want to win the count to Yennier. Well, you mentioned the ground ball on his last 2 outs coming via the ground ball as he finds the bag just ahead of Yennier Diaz to get the final out of the 8th. 1, 2, 3, bottom of the 8th. We're tied heading to the 9th. Josh Hader's been warming up for the Astros.
Santos, presented by Gallery Furniture. Okert and De Los Santos have become 2 of the biggest driving forces in the Astros pen. Taking a look at each of their last 8 innings pitched, each have posted a 1.13 ERA in that span. Just 6 combined hits allowed between the 2 across those innings. I asked Joe Espada what he likes most about using these 2 in high leverage spots, and he pointed out their versatility. Both are effective against right-handed and left-handed hitters. They have a strong mix of pitches and are always prepared, saying they both know what to throw, when to throw, and who to throw it to. We saw that again last night. Okert delivered another perfect inning in the 9th, and De Los Santos needed just 12 pitches to work that scoreless frame. So Espada summed it up perfectly. When the fire is on, these 2 are his firefighters, and we've got another fireman entering the game now, Blummer.
Yeah, it's closer Josh Hader. Even though it's not a closing situation, his job is to pitch in the 9th and put up a 0 on the season. 15 1/3 innings and a 1.17 ERA.
First batter he faces, Samuel Basayo. Whose walk been hit by a pitch and struck out. Next pitch misses. It's 1-1. Hader, the 4th pitcher of the game for the Astros. AJ Bluebaugh, 2 shutout innings, and Brian Abreu a perfect 8. Now Hader on facing the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Dylan Beavers was going to be the 2nd hitter of the inning, and he has the only 2 hits. This is going to be a hitter's challenge by Basayo. Basayo lost one yesterday as a hitter, and now he's going to challenge this 1-1 pitch, and he is going to lose that one. Both teams losing a challenge here in the last half inning. Altuve lost one for the Astros in the bottom of the 8th, and now Basayo losing one in the 9th. Swing and a miss. Hader picking up a strikeout for the first batter he faces out of the pen. Now message from Buick GMC. Hader will now face a pinch hitter. Tyler O'Neill will hit for Dylan Beavers, so they'll go over the scouting report on O'Neill. Beavers leaves the game with 2 hits, the only Oriole with a hit today.
Righties have had a tougher time against Josh Hader this season. They've got plenty more at bats, but in a limited sample size, lefties have actually gotten to Josh a little bit.
Orioles are going to go back-to-back righty pinch hitters because Kobe Mayo is on deck to hit for Colton Cowser. Can't really hit for Basayo to start the inning, even though he's a lefty, unless you want to forfeit your designated hitter, because the Orioles often employ both of their catchers in the lineup at the same time, including today with Rutschman DHing.
Yep.
So they let Basayo hit against the lefty, but now going to right-hand hitters O'Neill and then Mayo. This one down, 1-1. Orioles have their guy who closed out the game yesterday warming in their pen, Tyler Wells. Wells able to save that game despite allowing a couple of base runners in the ninth. Called third strike, top of the zone. That's going to be a challenge by O'Neill. When you're in the ninth inning and you have 2 challenges remaining, as the Orioles did, you might as well use them because you're not going to worry about it in extra innings if you go extra innings, because you get an extra one in each extra inning.
It's effectively used.
They lost one earlier with Basayo's challenge, and O'Neill wins that one to stay in the at-bat. Swing and a miss. O'Neill now 0 for 8 with 8 strikeouts in his career against Hader as he goes down swinging for the second out.
Well, with the fastball up, didn't get the call. Gave him the opportunity to get to that slider down, and O'Neill swinging over the top of it. Well executed slider by Josh Hader, striking out the first 2 hitters in this inning. Our next telecast is presented by Kaplan Sinus Relief. Kyle Bradish and Hunter Brown are going to match up. Bradish on the road with a 4.06 ERA on the road, and in 7 starts for Hunter, he has a 3.57. It'll be fun to see Hunter Brown on an extended rest come out firing tomorrow. He always expects more out of himself, and I would imagine tomorrow, considering where the Astros are in this situation, if they're able to pull off this win, he would love to help the Astros win that series potentially tomorrow.
Hunter pitched Friday in Arlington. He'll be working on 8 days of rest. First pitch strike to the pinch hitter Kobe Mayo. It's 0-1. By the way, in those O'Neill versus Hader matchups through the years, it went back all the way to 2018, and they've always been Cardinals versus Brewers matchups. But when you own somebody, you could wait a few years in between at bats and still own him. Now he's 0-2 on Mayo. Mayo started at third base yesterday, went 1 for 4. Hader trying to work through the ninth and give the Astros an opportunity to walk off this game in the bottom half. They will have their 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up. Their 8 and 9 hitters have been the most productive part of their lineup today, with 4 hits in their last 4 at bats. Another 2-strike pitch coming. Got him, bottom of the zone, called third. Striking out the side, the top half of the ninth is Josh Hader. Astros trying to walk it off in the bottom half. Ball on SCHN is presented by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. Buy rooms to go. Get fashion, style, and quality all at low prices on every item, every day. And by Dr. Michael Kaplan and the sinus specialist at Kaplan Sinus Relief Center. Breathe well, live well.
Bottom of the ninth inning, the Astros looking to maybe walk this one off here in the bottom of the ninth. They were threatening against the guy who is now in the game, Tyler Wells. But he picked up his 3rd save in yesterday's game. Had to throw 29 pitches. Big 6'8" right-hander will make his 37th appearance. His ERA is sub-3. That whip right around 1. Fastball, cutter, changeup, slider. Doesn't throw very hard, averaging 93.5 miles an hour on that fastball, but does a good job of avoiding barrels.
Faced 5 hitters yesterday, none of them due up here in the ninth inning. Cam Smith 0 for 3 today, as Cam swings the first pitch and fouls it back. It'll be Cam, Zach DeZenzo, and Lucas Spence. DeZenzo and Spence each have 2 hits in their last 2 at-bats. That pitch called a ball off the outside corner. It's 1-1. Heather Wells, back-to-back games coming out of the All-Star break, pitching the 9th inning. Last night picked up the save. Today trying to take the game into extras. He's 1-2 on camp. Camp faced them earlier this year in Baltimore and flied out in their lone head-to-head matchup. Lays off the high fastball, 2-2. Cutter actually up top. Astros have had 2 walk-offs this season. Yordan Alvarez on the 4th of July. Zach Cole with a single back on May the 13th. There's the ball hit sharply but caught by Gunnar Henderson. That ball was ripped by Cam Smith, but he's out number 1.
109-mile-an-hour line out. It was about a foot off the ground. Somehow Gunnar was able to stay with it and keep in the glove. Kind of hoped it rattled around and came out of the glove, but it did not.
Well, Zach DeZenzo will bat. Zach having a good day, 2 for 3. Now 5 for his last 11 going back to the last road trip. Goes after the heater and misses 0-1. Wells in picking up that save last night. Did throw 29 pitches in that outing. Couple of fastballs getting DeZenzo down in the count 0-2. Foul tip caught by Basayo. That'll be a 3-pitch strikeout. And Wells picking up his second out, getting DeZenzo swinging. Now Lucas Spence. What a story this would be in his second major league game.
It would be nice. It'd be nice to see a little explosiveness off the Astros bats. Only 1 extra base hit in this series so far in these last 2 games. It was Yordan's double in his first at bat yesterday.
Lucas has his father and his sister in town. We heard from them yesterday in an interview with Lauren. His dad Thomas in the cap in the Astros jersey behind the gentleman in the Jordan shirt, and then sister Allison too to his right with prayer hands, watching her brother here in the bottom of the 9th in a 1-1 game. It's a tough changeup, 1-2. Lucas has done well here. First couple of games, 2 for 3 today, 1 for 3 yesterday. Also drew a walk yesterday. Hitting a smooth 500 at the big league level so far. Astros have Steven Okert warming up in their pen if this game goes to the 10th. Towards the line and left, giving it a chase is the left fielder Taylor Ward, making the play and then running into the stands. That's a nice play by the O's left fielder to end the inning.
Good defensive play from a guy who's played a lot of baseball here over his career. We'll take that one away from an Astro fan. Up at the 10th inning, Astros and Orioles knotted up at 1. Orioles with 2 hits in today's game. They have 7 in the last 18 innings. So they're going to have their Manfred man at second base, and Steven Okert's into this game with his 2.27 ERA. Be his 48th appearance. Start with the 8-hole hitter. There you see Leody Taveras is that runner at second base.
Astros thinking about a bunt here from Christian Encarnacion Strand. They are in on the corners, not showing bunt, and taking a strike. It's 0-1. Okert pitched the 7th inning yesterday in 1-2-3 fashion with a couple of strikeouts. Strikeouts always big if you can get them in extra innings. And he gets ahead quickly on Encarnacion Strand, 0-2.
It's been the best pitch for Steven Okert all season, that slider.
Okert has been picking up strikeouts by the bunches lately. He'll look for one here, and he checks Taveras, who's got great speed at second base, and make sure he doesn't get too far off the bag. Taveras came into center field last inning, replacing Cowser, who was pinch hit for. Sharply hits the bat. Fair ball fielded by Paredes, and that'll be an infield hit on a ball that was ripped off the third base bag on an 0-2 pitch.
It's crazy. If that ball gets down the line, it's an easy run for the Orioles. Taveras only gets 90 feet after that ball was smoked off that third base pizza box. 103 miles an hour from Encarnacion, raking it down that third baseline. You could see Isak almost give up on it, hoping it was fair, but it hit the base and popped up into the sky. Taveras heads up, being able to get into third base.
So Encarnacion Strand with his first hit of his Orioles career. It's a big one in extra innings. Putting runners on the corners with nobody out, and now Jeremiah Jackson will pinch hit. Jackson will hit for Jackson Holiday, who went 0 for 2 with a walk today.
And watch that first and third bunt situation, similar to how the Astros scored their only run.
There he is bunting, and he gets it down. That will score the run as Lamont Wade Jr. makes the tag. Sliding home is Taveras. It's a 2-1 Orioles lead on the squeeze, safety squeeze to make it 2-1.
Executed beautifully to get that run in. And the Astros could do the speed of Taveras, getting in there quickly.
Oker will just try and keep it at a 1-run game as he faces the top of the order. Adley Rutschman, the batter. Adley has a career grand slam against Okert earlier this year in Baltimore. He is 2 for 4 with a double and a slam against him in his career. There's a strike at the top of the zone. It's 1-1. Didn't miss by much. It counts 2-1.
Clip the edge of the plate.
Everybody gets one challenge for every extra inning. So the Astros have a challenge to work with in the 10th. If it goes beyond that, even if they use it up, they'll have one in the 11th. Now it's 2-2. Hit on a line, but right at Nick Allen, who puts it away for the second out. Rutschman out number 2. Hooker will face the lefty Gunnar Henderson. Hooker at this point, the only Astro to work back-to-back games coming out of the All-Star break. Yesterday it was Oker, King, and De Los Santos. Today, blue ball, Abreu, Hader, and now Oker.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be Oker?
There's a strike 0-1. Astros bottom of the 10th. They'll have Lucas Spence with good speed leading off at second base to start the inning. Then the top of the order due up. Top of the order is now Nick Allen, then Yordan Alvarez and Isaac Paredes. Oker to head 0-2. Try to hold up and no swing. Got him. Oker gives up the unearned run, but that's it. Astros down 1 heading to the bottom half of the 10th. Nick Allen, Yordan Alvarez, and Isaac Paredes with Lucas Spence on second when we begin the bottom half.
Tenth, another opportunity for the Astros to shock the Orioles. They will start with a runner at second base, and they will be trying to do it against Andrew Kittredge. 3 saves and 5 opportunities for Kittredge. 26 innings, a 4.15 ERA. The Astros saw him in yesterday's game. He threw a clean 8th inning. Struck out Altuve, walked Lamont Wade Jr., and proceeded to get 2 flyouts to get out of that inning. But he's going to have to start with the top of the lineup, which is a little bit different with Nick Allen into this game, leading off. Jeremy Pena leading with a cramp in his hamstring. But there you see the speedy Spence at second base, and there is Nick Allen.
Lucas Spence still looking to score his first major league run. He's been on base 4 times in the first 2 games and now on for a 5th time as the unearned runner. So Nick Allen will hit here against Kittredge. Pete Alonso in tight at first base, thinking Allen might be bunting, and he shows bunt early. And he gets the bunt down towards the third base side. Kittredge will glove it and nobody out. Nick Allen placed it perfectly on the third base side. And the Astros have first and third with nobody out.
They've got action. That bunt bunted firmly by Nick Allen to that third base side. Gets it past Kittredge. He's got that wild follow through and a late break from Encarnacion. And nobody able to make the play.
He did that intentionally. He got that bunt and he actually went after it.
That was impressive.
There have not been many fundamental players as sound as Nick Allen in an Astros uniform in a while.
You're right.
First and third, nobody out. And Yordan Alvarez at the plate. Tying run at third, winning run at first. And after a slider down and in. We have not seen Yordan leave the strike zone very often lately. Yordan has a career home run against Kittredge. Came in 2019 in his Rookie of the Year season. Off the plate, 1-1. Smash down the right field side. Fair ball towards the corner. Game tied. Allen heads to third. It's out of play. It's an automatic double. Second and third. Nobody out. Tied at 2. Yordan drives in the tying run of the 10th.
It is always that guy. Yordan Alvarez putting this team on his back consistently. Picks up the big knock to tie it up and moves that winning run a little bit closer. That was just a lazy slider down the middle of the plate. Yordan puts a healthy swing on that one. 108.3 off the bat. Jumps into the seats.
Now Isaac Paredes 1 for 4 today. Chops one towards the drawn-in infield. Gloved by Henderson. The throw's high. Safe at first base. Bases loaded. Isaac hustling down the line was safe on the high throw.
How about that? That is definitely going to be an error on Henderson. A clean throw gets him, but how about Isaac? Thought he had the game-winning hit, but Gunnar coming over and snagging that one, airmails it, and is able to sneak to the inside away from Alonso. You've got the bases juiced. Nobody out.
Jose Altuve due up. Good evasive maneuver by Paredes to run inside the tag of Pete Alonso. And now a meeting at the mound as Altuve bats with the bases full and nobody out.
That was crazy.
Initially, when that ball got over Encarnacion Strand's head, I thought Allen might try to come home on that long throw to first. That would have been a risky play, but it would have been a long throw.
I didn't see how far he was getting off third base. It was kind of tough because the whole play was about 10 feet from him.
The Orioles are going to employ a 5-man infield. Leody Taveras coming in from center field is going to grab an infielder's glove from Pete Alonso, and he is going to take a position on the left side of the infield. So they'll have 3 on the left side, 2 on the right side against Altuve here. The Astros have had some tough losses lately. They would love to see Jose Altuve come through with a big walk-off here. If he does, it'll be the 9th of his career. Miguel Cairo, the bench coach, positioning his outfielders. He only has 2 of them. Center field is wide open for Altuve. First pitch strike on the fastball. Altuve has not had a hit this year with the bases loaded. He has had a couple of sacrifice flies, a couple of walks, and 1 sacrifice fly.
Just something he could drive to the outfield.
Into center, nobody's there, but cutting across the right fielder, O'Neill makes the catch. Here comes Allen. Allen is throw. He is out at home plate. Great throw by O'Neill coming across from right field, gunning down Allen as the winning run to keep the game alive in the bottom half of the 10th.
Pretty impressive that that actually worked. That ball wasn't hit all that deep, but with the movement of O'Neill moving to his right, the Astros forcing the issue with Allen being sent. That ball only going 270 feet. And then the throw from O'Neill, who just lets it rip, and a great catch and tag by Basayo to go get Nick Allen. Astros gambled and it didn't pay off.
Now 2 outs. It'll take a base hit here from Lamont Wade Jr. as he takes a strike 0-1. What a throw by O'Neill on the move from right field, making the catch and gunning down the runner. Trying to bunt for the win. Kittredge bare hands. His throw in time. Orioles make great defensive plays to keep this game going. Wow, what a crazy bottom half of the 10th. Kittredge had to barehand that and threw out Lamont Wade Jr. to end the inning. We're tied at 2.
Still tied 2 apiece. Neil De Los Santos into this game for the top of the 11th. Both teams only able to muster 1 run apiece. 42 games, 44 and 2/3 innings pitched for Enyel. Fastball, changeup, and slider. Pretty good mix for him. He's going to be dealing with Gunnar Henderson at second and Taylor Ward at the dish.
Baltimore Orioles making some defensive plays in the bottom half of the 10th inning to keep the game going. Tyler O'Neill with a strong throw to home plate off balance to gun down Nick Allen. Then Andrew Kittredge with the bare hand play with Lamont Wade Jr. trying for the game-winning bunt to get the final out. There is Gunnar Henderson leading off second base. Orioles have Taylor Ward looking for his first hit of the game, 0 for 4. De Los Santos faced the 7, 8, and 9 hitters yesterday, now facing the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in extra innings here in the 11th. Astros had the bases loaded, nobody out, with the game tied and could not score the winning run. (3-0) from De Los Santos to Ward. We mentioned the patience of Taylor Ward with 76 walks drawn this year. There's a strike. This crowd, similar to our audience, probably has to regroup after a bit of a deflation despite tying the game in the bottom of the 10th. You figured the game had a real good chance of being over. Bases loaded, nobody out with the game-winning run at third. The Astros could not walk it off.
And you're right, it did take some good defense, but at the same time, it's amazing how the Astros can do so much and get so little out of it. There was so much hope with the bases loaded and just needed one of those runners to score.
Full count now after a 3-0 count. Going to be a walk. Ward draws his 77th walk of the year, leading the American League in that category. Astros have allowed 6 walks today, 4 by the starter Eric Getty, 1 from blue ball, now 1 from De Los Santos, and now a meeting at the mound. Josh Miller out to talk to Enyel. Pete Alonso will be the batter. Alonso 0 for 2 with a couple of walks today. Strike one on the fastball, 0-1.
Good place to attack. Pete Alonso on that inside. Good pitch by De Los Santos. Do it again.
That's where you said to attack him.
Yep. Alonso likes getting those arms extended, but a couple of very good fastballs on the inside edge from De Los Santos gets him ahead 0-2. Those are beautifully executed.
Use a strikeout here with nobody out and 2 runners on in a tie game in the 11th. Oh yeah.
Do it. Wanted no part of those heaters.
Alonso down on 3 pitches, looking at the last 2 strikes, and there's 1 away in the inning.
It's the last thing you expect from your RBI leader, but 3 very good fastballs locked up Pete Alonso. No shot.
And that was an unusual couple of takes from Alonso.
Yeah.
The second strike was well placed, but 0-2 count. He was not expecting that fastball, I guess. Basayo with a swinging strike. He has struck out his last 2 times after walking and being hit by a pitch. Basayo has struck out in 3 of his 4 at-bats against De Los Santos. And in those strikeout at-bats, he sees more than half of the pitches from Enyel as changeups. Took the changeup there. It's 1-1. There's a strike. Might as well stay with the changeup. 1-2.
Pulled that one to the inside. Might have fooled Basayo with the location of it.
Basayo has swung at 5 changeups from De Los Santos in his career and missed them all.
That's a good one.
6 for 6. Breaks his bat. He's tired of that changeup from Enyel as he snaps it over his knee. That's 2 big strikeouts back-to-back for Enyel.
That's the hardest thing he hit in that at bat.
Ooh, that was rather
pretty
easy.
impressive, yeah.
Oh, there's more damage. Helmet taking some of the frustration. Now
tear the batting gloves in half. Go for it.
Now Tyler O'Neill, who saved the game, preserved the game in the bottom half of the 10th with a great throw. Now bats here with 2 on and 2 outs as he fouls one away. O'Neill came on as a pinch hitter, struck out against Josh Hader in the 9th, and now facing Enyel De Los Santos in the 11th. A little bit down, 1-1. A walk to start the inning, and then back-to-back strikeouts. Now Enyel trying to get O'Neill to end the 11th. O'Neill has faced Enyel twice, has a single and a home run against him in his 2 at-bats. That's really well placed. 2-2.
He's shown good command of all 3 of his pitches in these at-bats here in the top of the 11th for Enyel. That was beautiful.
Orioles have Cam Sanders warming up in their pen. Sanders pitched yesterday. it in 3-2. Leody Taveras is on deck if this inning continues. Runners will be off here with 2 outs. Little tapper to the right side. Altuve will charge it. It's spinning. The throw not in time. Coming home to score, Gunnar Henderson. It's now a 3-2 game. Infield hit for O'Neill as the Orioles take the lead on a little squibber.
Well, Hustle scores that run. Good base running by Gunnar Henderson. Got a good jump in that 3-2 count. And with that ball not being hit very hard, Altuve laying back on it allowed O'Neill to get the first to extend this inning and allowed plenty of time for Gunnar Henderson to come around from second base.
You can see Yainer Diaz just kind of walk away from home plate. He was not anticipating a play at the plate there. If somebody yells forward to Altuve, he's able to make a throw home, but Yainer just kind of drifted off the plate here.
Well, you can't turn your back on the play. See if we can watch. Gunnar Henderson is just watching the play and using that speed the entire way. It's one of those times that if the out is at third base, you just continue to run through third base just in case there's a bobble or the throw's just off a little bit. And it paid off. It was just a slow developing play with no urgency.
Now Taveras will bat as the Orioles have a run in each of the extra innings. That one fouled back. Astros now have Kaiwei Dung warming up in their pen as Enyel pitching on back-to-back days. Trying to get the final out here in the 11th. Now Yainer unable to communicate with the pitch comm to Enyel De Los Santos, who might need a new receiver.
We've exceeded the battery life of Yainer's pitch comm in this 11-inning game.
Astros have had so many chances to lock up this game. Last half inning, they could have had a shutout inning here. O'Neill just put the ball in play to the right side, and a run scores from second on an infield hit. Still having communication problems. Maybe it's Yainer's. Maybe it's Yainer who's not able to transmit the calls. Well, now we're good.
We'll see.
Looking ahead to the Astros, bottom of the 11th, they will have their 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up. Lamont Wade Jr. will be the runner at second base to start the inning. You try and keep it at a one-run game if at all possible. Let's see if Yainer gets a new device. There we go. This might be the issue. Nope. Yainer doesn't hear this one either.
It's like ESOT. I never thought I'd be broadcasting a play-by-play of pitch comm issues. This is impressive.
All right, see if he gets a new transmitter. Says that one's not working. The drama of the new communication in baseball.
This is probably the worst we've seen it.
There we go. We got one working. Yainer can hear it. See if Enyel can hear it. Vlad's like, come on, test it, test it. Yeah, we're good. Oh, test it. We're good.
Can you hear me now?
Yiner now saying, do you want to throw a warm-up pitch? It's been about 2 minutes since he last threw a pitch. He said, yeah, let's get a warm-up pitch in here.
Somebody tell Brian Honora. There he goes, gets out of the way.
All right, we're ready. 0-1's the count on Taveras. And that's going to be a base hit. That's going to score the extra run for the Orioles. It's now a 2-run lead, 4-2. Taveras in his first at bat of the game comes through with an RBI single with 2 outs in the 11th.
It was on that changeup. It was a good pitch on the outside edge. Taveras just did a better job of putting a good swing on it and being able to pull it. As a visiting team, scoring multiple runs is a big bonus.
Yeah, the ebbs and flows of this inning, 2 on, nobody out, then 2 strikeouts. You're feeling good about your chances of getting out of the inning. Now a couple of 2-out singles. Encarnacion Strand takes a pitch up for a ball. Astros have had some frustrating losses here in their last few games, having lost 4 of 5. Their last 3. They have had either a lead or been tied in the 8th inning. Lamont Wade Jr. will make the play on the pitcher's mound to end the inning. It's a 4-2 game. Astros need 2 to keep it going. With 2 outs in the 11th to take a 3-2 and now a 4-2 lead, and the Orioles will go to Cam Sanders. Sanders picked up his first career major league win yesterday as he came into the game with the bases loaded and got out of a situation, getting his 2 batters he faced, striking out Isaac Paredes and getting Christian Walker to pop up to get out of his inning. But as you can see, in his time this year with the Pirates, a lot of walks, 10 walks in 10 innings. Astros need some base runners here. Tying run is currently at the plate in Yiner Diaz, with Lamont Wade Jr., the unearned runner, on second base. Swing and a miss as Yiner goes after the slider. It's 0-1. Yiner looking for his first hit today is 0 for 4. Slider down and away, 1-1. You almost have to give this guy an ability to get wild just based on the numbers he's shown this year. He came in and threw strikes yesterday in his first Orioles appearance.
I agree with you. I was hoping to see that in yesterday's game, and he didn't give it to him, so maybe today's the day.
Into left center, cutting across Taveras, makes a nice running catch. Taveras can go get him in the outfield, and he runs that one down pretty easily on a ball that looked like it had potential off the bat.
I did too. I had hopes for that sneaking into that gap. But Taveras cut it off. Very nice play.
Now Cam Smith will bat. Cam looking for his first hit. Smoked a ball his last time up, but hit it right at Gunnar Henderson. This one on the ground, backing up. Encarnacion Strand, his throw is in time for the second out of the inning. Lamont Wade Jr. moves to third. Now Zach DeZenzo bats with 2 outs, and the Astros down by 2 in the 11th. The Astros fail to win this game, it would be 5 losses out of 6, and there have been some tough ones during this stretch. This one would probably be the toughest to swallow. Bases loaded, no outs, tie game in the 10th. The Astros could not get the winning run across. Took some great plays defensively by the Orioles. Now the Astros down to their final strike. Astros in danger of moving to 6 games under 500 for the first time in the second half of the season. Not the post All-Star break portion, but since game 81, they have not been as far back as 6 games under. Zach does have 2 hits today in 4 at-bats. He scored a run back in the 7th. Staying alive on that pitch on his hands.
There's 98 on the knuckles.
Last night Sanders picked up his first big league win. Today he's looking for his first big league save. Didn't have any wins or any saves as a Pirate. Now his first 2 outings as an Oriole have been a little bit more promising. And he does get a called third strike. DeZenzo can try and go to first, but he is just vacating the batter's box, and that will end the game. A frustrating end to a frustrating game as the Astros lose 4-2, giving up 2 2-out hits in the 11th and failing to score with the bases loaded and nobody out in the bottom half of the 10th. Astros post-game show presented by Whataburger will feature Brian Bogusevic and also Kevin Eschenfelder, Lauren Callender helping out with interviews in the clubhouse. 4-2 loss. Post-game show next.